Hello and welcome back to the lecture. You should have finished your video on Trevor Noah's favorite toy. One of the questions that was asked was some of the emotions that were shown from Trevor Noah, and it's hard not to notice how he lights up when he thinks of and reflects on his favorite childhood toy. So let's talk about some of the feelings that are associated with play. It's hard not to think about play and its close connection with laughter, joy, and togetherness. Philosophers have been exasperated by the problem of why humanity's finest achievement is its sense of humor. And laughter isn't born, it's an expression in humans that is universal and shared with our closest relatives, the apes. Laughter has a deep connection with surprise. It's visible in children's games such as peekaboo or jokes with an unexpected answer called punchlines. It signals mutual liking and well being. Several people laughing together shows solidarity and togetherness. Play faces is what social scientists call laughter expressions, and it's amazing how laughter spreads. If someone is laughing, it is almost impossible not to laugh yourself. Infectiousness of laughter works across species. You may notice that in certain sitcoms that they will have a laughing track to help make jokes land a little easier. In the past been trends with laughing circles where people get together just to laugh. Shared laughter is just one example of how primates are sensitive to one another. This is along with laughter, yawning, empathy, and some other emotions as well. What do I mean by yawning? Well, yawning is a form of an involuntary imitation, formerly called yawn cohesion. Yawning is a form of an involuntary imitation, formerly called yawn cohesion. This is in the same area of the brain that triggers you to yawn when you see another yawn, is the same area associated with empathy. These all demonstrate that we're all interconnected, both bodily and emotionally. Note that with your presence when working with children can be quite powerful. Recognize your emotions and expressions are transferable. Your presence in the classroom or home has a powerful effect on children and others around you. We know play is an important part of human development. How does American culture view play? How does your own culture view play? Take a moment to reflect. You may choose to pause if you need more time, but I'll go ahead and move forward. Although it's common to say that play is how children learn, what has happened at school is that we see shorter recesses, fewer PE classes in elementary school, exercises that are not based around play, higher expectations and standards in schooling, homework that is applied 3 times more than recommended by the National Education Association. And when we have that much more homework, we see stress, nightly fights with parents, less playtime, and less socialization with peers. It all shows that overall Americans do not value play, and play is starting to disappear. Now I'll pose to you another question. If possible, reflect on what your school playground looked like. Did it have trees or was it asphalt? What kind of play equipment was there? Well, let's talk about why playgrounds look the way they do. About 160 years ago, a man named Herbert Spencer published the book Principles of Psychology, where he discussed his theory of surplus energy. In this theory, he said children need to play in order to rid of surplus energy, and that play is a useless exercise. Although this theory has since been rejected by professionals, it still has influence on children, schools, and outdoor play yard design today. Play yards are still viewed as a place for children to blow off steam, not viewed as an additional learning area. What we see is manufactured play equipment, artificial grass, and a lack of shade. Little or no plant life, maybe gray and similar to a parking lot, and sometimes even double as a parking lot. Play yards are also designed with surveillance of children and easy maintenance in mind. It's a break for children instead of a stimulus area. Now, what would a playground look like if it was viewed as an additional learning area? Take a moment to reflect, and if you need more time, pause here. Here we have some natural play yards. These natural play yards allow children to have open-ended play, where their imagination takes control. Let's talk a little bit about literature, culture, and play. Fairy tales define cultural values, and it's one of the easiest ways to define a culture's values. It's the stories that we tell our children over and over again, and they usually have a clear message. Let's take example The Three Little Pigs, one of my favorite children's books as a child. We often see the parents acting out the huffing and puffing as they read the story. The oldest of the three pigs is the wisest. The other two pigs quickly throw their houses together. But through hard work, the third little pig outsmarts the wolf. Let's talk about another second classic child literature story. The Ant and the Grasshopper is another classic. Let me give you a background on the story in case you don't remember it. The grasshopper plays all spring and fails to prepare for winter. The ants work all spring and harvest food. Winter arrives and the grasshopper asks the ants for help. The ants say, "You sang all spring and now you will dance all winter," meaning that he will freeze. In the end, the grasshopper freezes to death and the ants live to see the spring again, all because of their hard work. These two American classic fairy tales have the same message: work before play or you will perish. Go ahead and continue in the module to the next page.